Like most Battlefield players, I'm sure you're sick of hearing this noise. Rule number 1. Don't spam the trigger.
So the most common mistake that people seem to make with DMRs is that they'll see an enemy, aim down the sights, and then just blast the fire button as much as possible to try and get a kill. That doesn't really work because they have too much recoil, so you need to be patient, not get greedy, and just pick your shots. Leave about a second or so between each shot to give the aim kind of time to reset itself, so the next bullet goes on target. The other thing to worry about is range. If you get too close, like I do here, then you just want to be calm and just not spam the button, because your bullets are just going to fly all over the place and you'll probably end up a bloody corpse on the floor. So don't go charging in with a DMR, because it doesn't really work too well. And the longer ranges, I tend to find that the bullets don't really hit their mark so much, so it's really a medium range weapon, the DMRs, so try and stay at medium ranges most of the time. The last thing to worry about is attachments. Personally, I prefer to go for accuracy over anything else. I have a stubby grip and a heavy barrel on this MK11 mod.
So there you go. Don't spam, keep your distance, be patient, or you're going to end up like this fool.
Alright, it's over. You can stop cringing now. But there it was, the first ever video I made. It's a very different experience from what you watch now. I know the first thing you'll probably notice is my voice. I'm much more confident on a microphone now than I was back then, because I'd never spoken on one back then. And most people, I imagine everyone has the experience when they hear their voice for the first time. They're like, oh, do I really sound like that? What the fuck? Who's that guy? And once you get over that, you start to kind of get some confidence on the microphone and you become whoever you are. Anyway, welcome to this 99k subs celebration video. It's a little bit late, to say the least, but that's just unfortunate timing. I hit the 99,999 subs mark around the time that Bannerlord was coming out, so I had a lot of videos to do, a lot of work to do, and then a Total War DLC came out after that, so I was just a bit inundated with stuff to do, and this video kind of fell in the back. So I'm getting it done now anyway. And basically, I'm just going to tell you where I started. I'm just going to get a little bit personal in this video, which I don't really do. I don't give up too much of my personal life, but I'm going to tell you where I started with video creation, how I got to where I am now, and hopefully inspire some people that maybe want to do this to do it. Because it's a good life, to be honest. I get to play video games for a living. It's not quite that cut and dry. There is a lot of work that goes into it, and it's not all fun and games. But it's the best job I've ever damn had, and I don't plan on having any other ones. So that's what this video is going to be. If that doesn't interest you, no worries. You can just mute me and watch the footage if you want to watch some Battlefield footage. Or you can just listen to this like a podcast, because you don't really need to watch the video. I'm not going to be talking about the footage or anything. But yeah, that's what this is going to be. So as mentioned at the start, I started back in January 2014. The Xbox One had come out a few months before that, and with it came the ability to record your game footage and then mash it together with a very basic clip editor. You could like trim clips, put them together, and then talk over the top of them. That was about it. It was very simple, but it did the job for what people were trying to do. So that was around, and there were people making videos, putting these things together, and they would get featured on this kind of Xbox Upload page. It was called Xbox Upload. That was like the thing. And people would make a video, and it would get featured on there sometimes, like a main page. So anytime somebody went on this Xbox Upload section of the Xbox One, everyone around the world would see whatever video was featured. So it was kind of a big thing, right? You'd get seen all over the world potentially by anyone with an Xbox One. So as you saw earlier, I jokingly said to my friend Jelk, hey, maybe I'll make a video about DMRs and Battlefield, because people just really don't know what they're doing with DMRs. They're just spamming the trigger, they're not hitting anything, they need some help. Maybe I'll make a video with that Xbox Upload thing and it'll get featured. Yeah, of course. Alright mate, good one. Never in a million years did I actually think it would get seen and featured, but it did. It was actually by another creator who'd seen it and liked it and showed it to the Xbox people, and then they featured it. And that was kind of where I began. From there I started to make more videos, got a few more features, started to gain followers, because Xbox One kind of works like Twitter. You follow people, and if they like you, they'll follow you back, and then you become friends. Otherwise, people are just following you. So I started to amass a little bit of a following. I made more and more videos. They were doing all right, and I started to think, oh, maybe I'm all right at this. Never in my life at any point had I ever thought, man, maybe I should go into video production and make videos for a living. Never even crossed my mind, even a little bit. Didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life at that point. Mostly, I just wanted to be in a band. That's always been my goal since I was young. I played guitar since I was 13 years old. Spent most of my youth and my early 20s trying to make it in bands, as you do. But yeah, came into video production, started doing alright on Xbox One, gaining some followers, blah, 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 blah. No money in this at this point, I should stress. No money, it's just for fun. No real gains other than the follows, which didn't really mean that much to me. I just liked having my videos do well, obviously. So it was just a good bit of fun, and I enjoyed the creation of it. That was what I started to learn about myself, is that I really enjoyed the creation. Even though it was very simple and basic editing, and it was quite stressful because of how crappy the software was. But to make a video, have it out there, have people see it and enjoy it, and to have it help them, and to make them a better Battlefield player, that was the rewarding part for me, and that's why I kept doing it. No money, just creation and helping people improve. And being mildly popular on Xbox had its perks as well. Xbox used to invite me and other people, other creators like me, to various events and things. I went to Rare Studios, who are famous for making GoldenEye and Perfect Dark and Banjo-Kazooie, and more recently, Sea of Thieves. And that was part of a Connect Sports Rivals event, so it was kind of making a video for upload to do with that. It was me and an Australian guy that they'd flew in. Not that I had much interest or played Connect Sports Rivals, but it was a free trip, right? I didn't have to pay for anything, it was all expenses paid. Trip to wherever the hell Rare Studios is, I can't remember. And then in August of 2014, they sent me and another guy to Gamescom in Germany. Again, all expenses paid, so that was an awesome experience. And we were actually driven there on a Call of Duty bus. That's right, I was on a Call of Duty bus. Don't tell anyone though. It was actually just full of Call of Duty YouTubers, and they put me and this American guy on there from like the Xbox upload thing. And we traveled together, and luckily I got on with him really well, so that definitely made the experience much better to have somebody you get on with. But yeah, we went off to Gamescom on this Call of Duty bus. We traveled across Europe. We stopped off in the Netherlands at a petrol station. I bought a chocolate bar and a Coke. It was a good day. But I was there to kind of do work and to make videos for upload. I had to interview the executive producer of The Division, which was just coming out at the time, which, let me tell you, very quickly did I learn that I'm not an interviewer. That is not a career path I want to pursue. It went okay, it went fine, but I just felt very awkward doing that. Never something I'd done before. But it was a cool experience. I also got to play in an esports booth against a professional COD team. The 4 or 5 of us that they sent played against this COD team, which was a fucking terrible idea, as only one of our group actually played COD and I hadn't played it for years, so there wasn't much hope. And this team had been playing the game already, and they knew exactly where all the checkpoints were going to be when they spawned next, so we just had no chance. It was a bit of a slaughter. We did alright in one game. We nearly got them in one game, to be fair. But overall, it was just a really fun experience, and it was all because of the Xbox upload videos that I was making, so I was having some success with it, gaining some confidence with video creation and all this stuff. Gained a small audience of about 2,000 people, which was a lot on Xbox upload at the time. Nothing compared to YouTube numbers, but it was something. It was a start for me at least. I was just working whatever jobs at the time. Wasn't really sure what exactly I was doing with life at the time of all of this. Trying to figure things out, you know. But after maybe a year or so, that kind of died off. The Xbox upload thing kind of died, and then they completely got rid of it, so it was definitely dead. So that was no more. Nothing to do there, which is when I made the jump over to, guess what? Good old YouTube, which was very much a different beast from a little old Xbox upload. And about 300 people from my 2,000 came over to YouTube. So I started my channel with about 300 subscribers, so it's a little bit of a head start. But when I got to YouTube, I didn't really know what to do. I made some more Battlefield content, which went okay, but obviously it's a lot harder to get anywhere on YouTube because there's so many other people trying to get places. And I tried loads of different games, and I basically was a failed YouTuber of many games for about a year and a half. I tried some Fallout 4, didn't really get anywhere. I tried Rainbow Six videos, didn't really get anywhere. Tried some Metal Gear Solid 5, didn't really get anywhere. So I was constantly not really getting anywhere, but I was still making videos and I was enjoying it. I was enjoying the creation process. I'd also made a couple of Total War videos. I made some for Rome 2 and a couple for Attila. And those were by far my best performing videos. I did a couple of guides on some of the political stuff and how it worked, and those did pretty well. And some battle guides that did pretty well. But those were just kind of in amongst all the other videos and games that I was trying to be a YouTuber in. I didn't really see myself as a Total War YouTuber at all, or had any vision to make it the main part of the channel. But then somebody left me this comment and said there isn't enough Total War tutorials. So that got my cogs turning. I was like, okay, maybe there's a bit of a hole there. So Edward Harby, thank you for your comment. You got me thinking. You helped shape this channel just that little bit. So the seed was planted there. And then in May 2016, along came Total War Warhammer, which is where the game changed for me. I started doing tutorials on that, and well, the rest is history. Here I am. I pretty much abandoned all other games, focused on Total War Warhammer, was trying to help a lot of people learn the game because it is a very complex game, and I had a fair bit of Total War experience. I still didn't know everything at that point. A lot of my videos have probably some misinformation in them now, looking back at them, but it is what it is. I've learned from doing, I've learned from experience, I've learned from playing, I've learned from helping other people, and that's really some of the foundations that this channel is built on. So I kind of started to work on it more. I started to hone what I wanted to be as a channel, because obviously there's many different ways to approach doing YouTube. And I've never really watched much YouTube, to be honest. The only two channels I've ever really watched a lot has been Frankie on PC, who used to make survival game videos and some Battlefield and bits, and tiiiiiiiiiiiiny, who does Dark Souls lore. Some of you may have heard of those two. And to learn Total War, actually, I used to watch Heir of Carthage. That's how I learned to play Total War, pretty much just by watching someone else. But with tiiiiiiiiiiny and Frankie on PC, they both make very few videos, but they really have quality over quantity. And that was something I really wanted to go for with my videos. And that's what I've always tried to do for the most part. Always trying to make my videos of some kind of value to people. And that's really what you need to do if you want to do YouTube. For anyone that's thinking about doing this, you've got to create value in your content. That's why there's certain kind of videos I just avoid, like speculation videos or news videos. I don't really know what value I can add to just making stuff up or trying to guess what's going to happen, or just regurgitating what a developer has said in a news announcement. Like, for me, I'm not sure what kind of value I can add to those things to make it worth your time, because that's really what YouTube is all about. You're giving your personal time to watch my videos or somebody else's videos, and that's a very precious thing. Your time is important. You're only on this planet for a very short time. You shouldn't waste it watching shitty content that doesn't give you anything. And that's one of my worst fears with any video, is that somebody watches it and then at the end goes, well, that was a waste of time. Never do I want anyone to say that about one of my videos. Maybe they don't agree with it, maybe they didn't like it, but at least hopefully they didn't feel like it wasted their time. So that's why I always try to go for quality over quantity. I try not to rush out videos, which is hard sometimes because obviously you want to keep up content. And as this is my full-time living now, 4 years later from when I started, so of course I need to stay on top of it, try to work hard as much as I can, keep the quality up, keep people interested, keep providing value for people, because this could all go away and I'll be back to working some shitty job that I hate, which is what I was doing before this. I was just pottering around working different jobs, not really sure what I wanted to do. Obviously I wanted to be in bands and things, but that wasn't really working out, and that's obviously a 1 in a million shot of doing that for a living. But it is something I knew I didn't want to just work a normal 9-to-5 office job or something. I just couldn't be happy in that. Some people can do that and they're content, and that is wonderful for them. If you can be happy in that job and live your life that way, wonderful, amazing, absolutely beautiful. But I think there are so many people that work jobs that they don't like and they stick with that job because they feel that's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to just get a job and do that job for their entire life, even if they don't really like it. And that's that. And they'll never strive for anything more, and they think this is just how they're supposed to live because that's what society tells you. Get a job and just work hard whether you fucking like it or not, which is absolute nonsense. There are so many smart people in jobs that they're overqualified for, and I think it's probably one of the leading causes of depression in the world is people not really doing what makes them happy, and they're working some fucking data entry job that is so mind-numbingly dull that it's destroying their soul slowly. And that's something I've always felt. I was never content in those jobs. I always wanted more. And if you're one of those people, if you're working a job now that you really hate and you've got the freedom to maybe try and do something else, you got to try and do it. You got to try and find whatever your passion is in life and maybe turn that into a career. I didn't think I could do it back when I was working shitty jobs, and now I've had 2 successful businesses. I started teaching guitar. I had like 1 student, obviously that's where you start, and then I built that up and up and up and up until it was my full-time job and I could quit doing all those crappy jobs that I hated. And at the same time I started doing YouTube and I was enjoying that, and I found that I didn't really enjoy guitar teaching. Like, it was okay, it was certainly better than any other job I'd ever had, but it still wasn't fulfilling me and making me content, I guess. But what was fortunate about that job is that it didn't start until about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, right? Because nobody wants lessons when they're at school and work and stuff. So it didn't start till 3 o'clock. I had the mornings free to do what I wanted, which is where I used that time to make YouTube videos, and here I am. So I was very fortunate in my circumstances for sure. But the point here is that if I can do it, you can do it too. There's so many people that sell themselves short and don't think they're capable of starting a business or doing anything that they actually want to do because it's too much work, it's too hard, it's a 1 in a million chance. Nonsense. There's always something you can be doing to work towards whatever your goal may be. We live in the best age of history ever. You can open up a web page and learn stuff. You can watch a YouTube video and learn stuff. You can download a course. You can read a book. There's endless amounts of ways to push towards starting some kind of business, becoming self-employed, being your own boss. Tell me that doesn't sound good. Who doesn't want that? Obviously, some people may be in circumstances that aren't favorable. If you've got a family with 2 kids, You obviously can't just quit your job and go and look for something else. I get that, of course. But there's always a little bit of something you can do to work towards a goal. And what I've discovered from doing YouTube over any other job is that creativity is really what drives me. And that's where I'm happiest, when I can be creative. That's probably why I didn't like guitar teaching, because you don't really get to be creative. And I think that's a problem for a lot of people that work the jobs where there's no creativity at all, and you want to be creative, but you can't. It's depressing. So I think you should always aim for whatever it is you truly want to do. And it might take a while for you to find out what that really is, but it's way better to be searching than stagnating in some vile job. And I'm a firm believer in you reap what you sow. How you think about yourself and the thoughts that enter your head will manifest into the real world in some fashion. Not by like some kind of magical crap, I'm not superstitious at all. It's more a mental thing, your psychology. When you tell yourself you can't do something, then it makes you not try as hard. It makes you put up walls and roadblocks and make excuses, and then you don't get anywhere. But when you tell yourself you can do something, it makes you work a lot harder, it makes you believe in it, it makes you keep pushing, and I think that's very important as well. And I truly believe that anyone can do anything they want to do. Within reason, of course. Let's not be silly and unrealistic, right? No matter how hard I try, I am never going to be a supermodel, right? I'm just not gifted that way. It's just not going to happen. It's unrealistic, it's silly, it's a waste of time, right? I could never be an astronaut. It's too late. That boat sailed. Maybe I'm just not smart enough to be an astronaut. Wouldn't know unless I tried. But either way, I know that's too late. I'm not going to pursue being an astronaut at this point in my life. But like I say, there are so many careers that anybody can do and that they can pursue via just doing a little bit of something on the side. You want to start being a photographer for a living? Start taking pictures. Start putting them on Instagram. Start trying to get a following. You want to sell soap for a living? Start making your soap and putting it on fucking Etsy or whatever other site you can use. Amazon, I don't know. Hey, you want to be a YouTuber? Start making videos on the side. You can make one video a week, one video a month. It's still something. It's a little bit of something to push yourself out there and get you going on wherever it is you might want to be. And realize it's okay if you suck to start with. You're probably going to be terrible at something new until you learn, right? Look at my first video. As you saw at the start of this video, it's not great, right? I've come a long way since then. And that's actually something I found kind of inspiring and kind of gave me motivation, is when you go and look at any big YouTuber. I did a lot of research when I was trying to figure out YouTube, seeing what other people did and where their success came from and stuff like that. And one thing I really noticed is that most people's first videos are absolutely terrible. Go on any big YouTuber's homepage, go to their videos, filter them by oldest first. You'll see the first videos that they ever uploaded. It's comedy gold, I tell you. And even the biggest YouTuber in the world, PewDiePie, right? Not somebody I watch, but I researched what he did a little bit. His first videos, terrible. They're nothing. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's just messing around. Over time, he cultivates this thing. He cultivates his personality, and he becomes what he is today. Another pretty funny example is a guy called Jacksepticeye. Some of you may have heard of him. Again, really not my cup of tea for content, but it was a big someone, so I researched them. And he's got the funniest videos if you go back and watch his first ones, because if you don't know who he is, he's very Irish, and he plays on his Irishness quite a lot. But if you go back and watch his first videos, he actually tries to hide the fact that he's Irish, and he puts on a kind of American accent, which sounds absolutely ridiculous and hilarious. And of course, the footage is terrible, the mic quality is terrible, terrible videos overall. But that's where he started. And over time, he's cultivated his idea and his personality, and now he's got millions of subscribers. So I think that kind of thing is just a good example of how you don't need to be perfect to get on with something. You can do something, do it badly, do it messily, but as long as you're doing it, you're going to be improving. And that's what I think puts a lot of people off. If they can't do it perfect, they just won't try. And that's silly. You've got to get in there and just do something. Work towards something, even if it's not perfect, even if it's a mess, even if you're bad at it, just got to do it. It's like Shia LaBeouf always told us. Maybe I should have done that kind of video for this instead. Maybe that would have been better. But for me, I've learned that my passion for games that I've had since I was a kid, I've been playing games since Commodore 64. My dad had me playing Gauntlet when I don't even know how young I was, but super young. Went up through Sega, PlayStation, N64, Xbox, and now I'm eventually here on PC, and games have become my living because of the work I've put into it. And the goals I've set myself. When I had that channel at 300 subs when I first made my YouTube, my goal was 100k subscribers. That's always been the goal. That's always been the number in my head that I've wanted to reach for the past 4 years. And now I'm finally there. And I had no doubt I could get there. I always believed that I could get to that 100k mark. The only thing that could stop me was me, by not doing anything. So I believed, I've persevered, and now here we are at 100k. And with that, my next goal, I will tell you, is 1 million subs. That's right. I'm going for the big one, 10 times more than I have now. It's going to take me a while. Might take me 5 years, might take me 10 years. I have no idea, but that's what I'm going for. And I'll be able to make a video saying, hey look, setting goals works, man. You just got to believe and persevere. And of course, none of this will be possible without you good people that watch the videos, like the videos, comment, share, whatever, and especially those who give their hard-earned money to this cause through Patreon, through Twitch subs, through donations, whatever it is. If you've thrown money at this channel, honestly, I cannot thank you enough, and my gratitude is eternal. And one day, I'm going to repay all these people who have thrown hundreds of dollars at me and make their money kind of more of an investment in me and what I do rather than just throwing money at some nerd on the internet. Because I'm a man with a plan, I've got some ambitions, some things I want to do, but those can only be achieved with your good people's help. So hopefully those of you who stick with me through all of this and have been here a long time, honestly and genuinely, I thank you. And maybe one day I'll shake your hand, or maybe even let you tickle my beard. We'll see. We'll see how close we get. But there we go. If you're thinking about maybe trying your hand at this thing that I do, playing games for a living, doing YouTube, whatever, you should definitely give it a go. Because there is an audience for everyone. It doesn't matter who you are. You've got some sort of strength that people can enjoy. Maybe you're funny, maybe you're entertaining, maybe you're just really damn good at one specific game or all games. Maybe you've got a soothing voice that people can chill out to. Everybody's got strengths. They've just got to find out what they are. For me, I've learned from YouTube that I'm really good at taking data and information, laying it out for people to learn it, and then explaining it clearly. That's what I'm good at that, apparently. I didn't even know I was good at that. But from doing YouTube and making all these guides, that's what I've learned. I'm quite good at giving people information clearly. That's my strength. That might not be your strength. You might have something different, but you got to find out what that is for yourself, right? Like I said, just got to provide value to people in some way. So there we go. If you've made it to this part of the video, to the end, I thank you very much for listening. I appreciate you listening to my ramblings. Hopefully this isn't one of those videos where you feel like I've wasted your time, as I was saying about earlier. But if it is, then I can only apologize. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the future at 1 million fucking subs, baby.